Hola, Kaipacha here with the weekly Pele report. Back home in my backyard. This is one of my favorite plants, but yeah, actually, now that I look at it, it's got a bunch of ashes still here from the volcano going off. Mother Nature. Good God. What are we going to do about her anyway? Oh man. So this is the Pele report for October 26th, 2016. And let's get some of the aspects underway here as we see ourselves surrounded by Mother Nature. So, right now the moon is in Virgo. Tomorrow, Thursday, she goes into Libra. Then on Saturday, she goes into Scorpio, where we have a new moon happening at 7 degrees 44 minutes of Scorpio. Sun, moon, Mercury conjunction going on. Really, the sun is conjunct Mercury all week. Okay, because they travel, at near the same speed, and they're just cruising right on through the, beginning early degrees of Scorpio. I'm going to be talking about Scorpio a lot today because Black Moon Lilith is in Scorpio. New moon sets the tone for the whole next month. Okay, so we got a lot of Scorpio coming on for this whole next month. And, in the meantime, then the moon moves out of Scorpio next Tuesday. Yeah, she goes into Sagittarius. So, in the meantime, what we also got going on here is Venus up there conjuncting with Saturn on Saturday. Easy to remember. Venus, Saturn, Saturday. Serious about love and about money. We'll talk a little bit more about that because Venus is also, and Saturn is also squaring the moon's nodes. That is exact tomorrow. Venus squares the moon's nodes and then moves on to conjoin Saturn on Saturday. This is a big week. There's a lot of heavy aspects going on, man. I don't know if you're feeling it. If you have any sensitivity whatsoever, you must be. Oh, God. And what else is happening? Mars. All right, we had Mars conjunct Pluto over there. Well, now Mars is coming along to square Uranus. That will be going on all week, but it is exact on Friday. Yeah, day after tomorrow. So we've got big stuff happening for the Halloween weekend. Oh, my goodness goddess. Let me look at the camera and talk about it. Okay. Where to begin? Where to begin? I sure can't begin at the beginning because then the Pele report would be too long. But let's go into that, we can at least go back to September when Jupiter went into Libra, where we now have a focus for the next 2 years. Jupiter through Libra, Jupiter through Scorpio, a year in each of those signs. This is an emphasis on partnership, on relationship, and understanding and balancing and integrating the masculine and the feminine, the understanding of what it means to be a man, what it means to be a woman, that we both have a masculine and a feminine side. This is part of a bigger process in the 26,000 year procession of the equinoxes, the end of the patriarchy, okay, that's been around for 6,500 years, and the birth of a new paradigm. So this is also having to do with this balancing of the masculine and feminine, the yin and the yang, the upper chakras and the lower chakras, the celestial world and the underworld, okay, the mental clarity with the emotional passion. Okay, and of course it is the heart chakra, the heart center, that is this fulcrum balancing point, okay, between the upper and the lower worlds, realms, however you want to look at it. But that took me like way off course. Let's look at this Mars square Uranus. Because, okay, it was in March of 2015. Let's go back that far. March of 2015, Mars came by Uranus in the sign of Aries, which Mars rules. Okay, Mars is the Roman name of the god of war. Aries is the Greek name of the god of war. So these two came together. Conjunct Uranus, which is original, new, revolution, rebellion, third eye opening and awakening, new understanding of the masculine, of Mars, of our animal nature, our sexual nature, our desire nature, our astral bodies, what it means to be a spiritual being in a physical body and have desires, hunger, thirst, yes, energy coming up from Pluto. Mars is the lower octave of Pluto. So anyway, in March, a conjunction is a seed is sown, a new cycle is begun. And now it's gone around 270 degrees to a third quarter square. Since March of 2015, all of us, okay, have put out new desires, new discoveries about who I am, about what I want, about my animal nature, my sexual nature, my need for independence, my need to penetrate and charge and start and begin. We've all, okay, we all have a Mars, we all have a masculine energy somewhere happening. Man or women. Yes, woman. So Mars puts us out. Okay, until what? Now? Okay, for the past, well, it's gone through Scorpio for like 6 months, really all of 2016. So say March of 15 to the beginning of 16 is putting a new identity, new wishes, new wants, new impulses that came to the fore, okay, out. And then 2016 is like Mars goes into Libra, it spends, half the year in Scorpio, okay, and now it's gone through Sag and it's coming back. It's coming back at us. What have I put out? And what is being reflected back to me from my partner, from society, from my boss, from my family? What has the rest of the world got to say, or got to think, or got to feel about my particular desires, wants? And this is how we learn. This is how we evolve. This is how we grow. Through what? Mirrors. And through projection. So I've been talking about projection. I'm going to be talking more about projection. In fact, I wanted to say, I'm doing a whole workshop in Bali. I'm leaving next week for Bali. I'm doing 5 workshops over the next 6 weeks. The one in Bali is on the shadow. Okay, it's coming up here as, the Sun, Mercury, and Lilith are all moving through Scorpio. Okay, and the moon, new moon in Scorpio. This is shadow material. And this shadow is negative beliefs or judgments that we have about ourselves, about who we are, about what we've been told we are or should be, creates negative impressions that we have where we're wrong or bad or weak or a failure or dumb or ignorant or ugly, or we have these negative feelings about ourselves and we suppress them. We hide them. We put our best face forward. Okay, and then they turn into shadow. And this suppressed energy we project out onto our partners, into our relationships, out onto the world. Okay, and it messes us up. Yeah? So I'm going to be doing this, and I'm doing this workshop anyway while I'm on it, and then I'm in Laos, I'm in Thailand for 3 workshops in Thailand. I'm on, the island Pangyang, and then back to San Francisco. But there's still spaces if you are in that area, checking out the Pele report. Check out one of these retreats for rejuvenation, healing, opening through astrology. I'm doing Kundalini yoga and all different, things. You can find out all about this stuff on my website. And while I'm at it, Astrology Rising Costa Rica. If you have not heard about it, there's 12 astrologers coming from all over the world doing yoga and astrology, co-creating the future in Costa Rica in May of 2017, when the moon's nodes go into Leo. Oh yeah! I just posted an invite, I think yesterday, okay, to this. Check that out. It's also on my website. That's going on. But let me get back to what's happening here, because this is really a big week. And it has to do with, and I think that, my mantra for this week really says it all. Scorpio is deep emotions. This is a time to be feeling into our deep, dark places, our deep, dark emotions, our passionate kundalini life force energy welling up from below. And just like, the world is triggering us. We're all kind of getting triggered. And what's really happening, below the surface is wanting to come up. Whether it's WikiLeaks, okay, bringing up suppressed or whistleblowers. Okay, this is a time, and this brings me to the election. The election is coming up, during this new moon. Okay, this new moon is setting the stage. There's no accident that they moved the election date to November 8th. It's a Scorpio election. Hillary is a Scorpio. There's absolutely no doubt in my mind, as a human being or an astrologer, who's winning the election. It's totally a given. Okay? I mean, just like, and down below in the notes, I'm going to put a link to my, someone I really like, J.P. Sears, being the ultimate spiritual person, gives us a little talk on the election and how out of the 150 million people that are going to vote, how much your vote counts. In getting the 538 electoral college voters that do not have to, by law, represent, okay, the people that they are supposed to represent. So just as Hillary knocked Bernie out with her super delegates, Hillary will also knock out Trump with, these of the electoral college. I mean, it's not even close to a democracy, okay? It's a corporatocracy. And we know that Hillary and Bill are totally woven in to the corporatocracy that is running the United States of America. And so this is just, perhaps this election and perhaps Trump will bring up, the crookedness, okay, the BS, the crap that's going on around, and not just in the United States, but, in governments and militaries and pharmaceutical companies and Monsanto's and banks and everything, the world, the United Nations and the World Monetary Fund, and I mean, it's all woven into, okay, the old patriarchal system that is seeking to control and dominate and rob the individual of their powerful, emotional, creative self-expression. And now, this Mars-Uranus is about my unique individual, okay, expression, contribution to the evolution of our species. So I really want to just, look at, and this Scorpio, let's talk about what is Scorpio, the taboo. It's kind of taboo to be, all this, spiritual people. Politics is not really, so spiritual. What else is not so spiritual, Sex is not so spiritual. Let's look at the taboo. Let's look at what we are, hiding or not wanting to look at, because this is what the election is not looking at, is how humanity is raping Mother Earth, and how our future generations are not going to have polar ice caps, okay, or, a wholesome food that's not GMO'd, or beautiful, delicious water to drink, or air that we can breathe, okay, how future generations, okay, and how, this whole corporatocracy that is running the planet is destroying the planet and destroying our children, and how we are moving into, okay, bizarre, perverted forms of relationship, of sexual expression, of what is happening, okay, to our youth. And here I just want to bring up this Philo Zimbardo. Check out Philip Zimbardo. He gives a couple of TED Talks on the nature of evil, which nobody really wants to talk about very much, yeah? But we live in a third-dimensional world of Saturn. And that third dimensional is light and dark, masculine and feminine, yin and yang, and good and evil. And evil exists in the third dimension. Yes, we can move. We are multidimensional. We can go into the fourth and fifth and sixth. But the fact of the matter is that we incarnated into the third. We are here now in our bodies in the third. And we are dealing with good and evil. And to think that we can get beyond judgment is a complete illusion. And this is one of the things that's coming around in 2017. The year of the end of illusion that I'm talking about. I need to write a book or something on this. This Paleo report is like too short about what's coming up in 2017. Some people have asked me, maybe I'll do a longer version or something, longer video. But for now, I just want to really talk about pornography. I want to talk about the masculine. There's all kinds of talk about the feminine, okay? But who needs help? What's going down? Okay? What's going down is the masculine, and what needs help is the masculine. Okay? Because our boys, our children that are becoming men have no models, have no examples of a healthy expression of the masculine, and the unhealthy expression of the masculine is in their face through the internet, through the technology, okay, over and over and over again. And this Philip does a whole thing on what's happening, with the billions. I think there's like $150 billion, okay? The porn industry makes more than CBS, NBC, and ABC combined, okay, just in the United States. But worldwide, it's an epidemic. And it's affecting the teenagers, and it's affecting relationships, and it's affecting how men don't know how to talk to a woman anymore, how to meet their gaze. I have 4 daughters. I know what I'm talking about. Okay, they're out there, and I deal with people every day, and I counsel people in partnership and relationship. And I'll tell you what, it's really, okay, we're entering a crisis period. And this isn't just about economics. This isn't what they're talking about in the political debates, okay, about armies or wars or bombs or da-da-da-da. We're talking about the health of the future of humanity coming into alignment with nature and natural law, like Saturn through Sagittarius, and Venus coming up to Saturn right now is asking us, look at how in alignment I am as an individual, with my own inner masculine and feminine, and then bring that, display that, express that out to the world that desperately needs models and examples of a healthy, wholesome, natural expression of sexuality, of emotions, of intellect, of a spiritual, purposeful, artistic, creative beam of energy that each one of us is. So it's like, so this is this is a week, and this is a month, okay, of conversing. And let me get, here's the mantra, right? It's basically, as I embrace my deep emotion and strive for conflict resolution, I live a life of full expression, not shut down by fear or suppression. Scorpio is about conflict, okay, with external, people, okay, partnerships, forces we can't control that are beyond us and outside us. And we meet these forces, these people. They're more intelligent, they've got more money, they're more sexy, they're more famous, they're more powerful, they're whatever. Okay? And we want that, but we want to merge with that, and we're afraid of losing ourselves to that. So we have this conflict going on, and it's internal and also, external. And we want to resolve these conflicts, okay? Which can also lead to connection of power, which is more power, which is orgasm, which is, coming together and giving birth to the new in Sagittarius, right? So, this is like a really powerful time where, we can tap into these deeper levels, and that's what this month is about, is getting below the surface, below just the appearances, and getting down to and really coming into a place of judgment. As my teacher Jeffrey Wolf Green says in Evolutionary Astrology, you cannot live without judgment. Every decision, every choice, every action that you take comes out of a judgment of this is good for me or bad for me, this is healthy or unhealthy. Okay, this is who I am, this is not who I am. There is no escape from judgment. So this idea that if you're spiritual, you're not going to judge, is absolutely false. And if you think you are not judging, you're fooling yourself, okay? And you are making unconscious judgments and unconscious choices. And the whole idea of evolution is to become conscious of the unconscious. Scorpio is bringing up the unconscious. So it's like, whoa, it's intense, man. This is an intense month. This is an intense week. Okay, we're moving into an intense period here with Scorpio and this Mars square Uranus, and I mean just like all the aspects going on right now are super intense. So I encourage you to just, really learn how to live with the temperature up. Okay, we're all getting cooked in the soup here, and the temperature's rising. Get used to it. Strengthen yourself with your spiritual practice, with your Kundalini yoga, with intentional dialogue, with, communication skills. I mean, teach yourself through practice how to really embrace, engage, and express your deepest, most powerful truth. And you will find how awesome you freaking are. Oh yeah, man. Wow. That was just like enough, all right? As I embrace my deep emotion and strive for conflict resolution, I live a life of full expression, not shut down by fear or suppression. May you live a life of full expression. Namaste, aloha. So much love.